Okay, so here's the example of a deterministic finite state machine, and I actually should change my title information now on Twitch. Okay, where is edit stream information? Deterministic finite state machine program. Okay. Done. Okay, here is my new title. So basically, if you don't know what a finite state machine is, here's a graph representation of one. It is a way to determine whether or not a string is valid in the current context. So this is the start. Each of these circles represents a state. Single circle is a rejecting state, meaning that if the string ends at that state, it's rejected. Double circles means accepting state, so if it ends at that state, it's accepted. So we start at 0, and it can accept any numbers of A's or B's, but if it gets a C, it goes to state 1, which then can accept any number of A's. If it gets a C, then it goes to 3, which is a dead state because there's no way to get out of 3. Everything just loops back to it, and it fails. If we're at state 1 though, and we get a B, we go to state 2, which then can get any number of A's or B's. It just loops back onto itself. But then if it gets a C, it goes to 4, which is also accepting, and that can accept any number of A's, B's, or C's, looping back on itself. This is the input file that she gave for it. So there are 5 states, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The accepting states are 2 and 4. And then the valid alphabet, A, B, and C. And the lines, it's implied here that this is for state 0, this is for state 1, this is for state 2, this is for state 3, and this is for state 4. So if you're at state 0 and you get an A, you go back to 0. If you're at state 0 and you get a B, you go to 0. If you're at state 0 and you get a C, you go to 1, etc., etc. So I need to find a way to take this input and turn it into this. So the first step would be, that's not an option there. F1, Java project. Create Java project. No build tools. And let's go to theoretical foundations. Programming 1. Let's just call it DFSM. I actually want to delete that because I want to select this as the project location, but then call it DFSM. Okay. So let's delete and new file, main.java. And let's copy this main.java and paste it in. I won't need print path, at least not yet. I won't need a star. I have 2 print paths in my other file. I apparently have an old print. I apparently have an old print path from my previous project as well. I will fix that later. I may or may not need these. I will come back to them. I may or may not need... Oh wait, I will probably need that, but it should be integer. And so integer dot parse int okay. And so what will I need up here? I will need an input file. Okay, what does it... Does it have to be? Okay, so it will be from dfa.txt. So I can just say get file and not have a prompt. And so this won't be needed. And this will just say dfa.txt. So actually, this is a pretty simple function now. I won't need the heuristic one. I will need something like that, but not the same. And I will need string input string. Let's call this DFA file instead. And I will change the node to be get input string. Oh, what time do I have? I still have time. And then it won't need to parse. It would just reader.readline. Oh wait, this needs to return a string. There we go. Okay. So get input string. What does it want? It wants, please enter a string to evaluate. And that will be different, and that will be different. Okay. I won't need that. I won't need that. So I'm thinking I will need a node. Actually, let's call this a state. And a state will have a hash table for an integer, and the integer will be the name of the states. So if you give it 5 states, it'll be 0 through 4. And the transition. So, no, that's not right. It will be a character and an integer. Actually, with Java, it will probably literally be the word character. And so that would be let's put it this way, actually. For transition, okay, so it'll be the character that it will transition on. So if I have state 0, it will have in its hash table, let's call this transitions. In its hash table for transitions, it will have an entry for A that will say 0, an entry for B that will say 0, and an entry for C that will say 1. If it doesn't find that, then it will, if it doesn't find one of those, then it will automatically say fail, because if there isn't a transition, or if it takes a character that there isn't a transition for, then it automatically goes to a dead state. Although with this, the only valid alphabet is A, B, or C, so anything other than A, B, or C, and it automatically fails. What else should a state have? Oh, whether it's accepting or not. So that would be a Boolean accepting. And so if it's accepting, it'll be true, and if it's not accepting, it would be false. And so if our loop gets to the end of the string and it's on an accepting state, so when it gets to the end of the string, it will check if the current state is accepting. If it's not, it will say failed. If it is, then it will say success. So I'm actually going to do this up here so I don't need to scroll as much. Public, let's just make it a void for now. Run DFSM. You know what? I'm gonna make this easier. Instead of integer ID of state to transition to, it will be a state that it will actually transition to. That way I don't need to keep a list of states. Although I could keep a list of states. So let me, new file, dfsm.java, and it will have private list states. So I will need to create, excuse me, I will need to create a state.java, and state.java will have the stuff that we were just talking about. So a hash table with characters and states and a boolean. Oh, and if it's actual states, then we will also need an int ID. And let me fix this up. So this will say state, and this will say character. Why don't you like hashtag? Probably because I need to import it. There we go. So actually, let me private. This will need to be read-only. That will need to be as well. Final might not be the right keyword. I don't know what is. State. So let's make this constructor. And it will need int ID, boolean, accepting, and a hash table with transitions. And so ID equals ID, accepting equals accepting, and transitions equals transitions. Okay. So public boolean get accepting, return accepting. So now that's accessible from outside. So as a list of states, and I want you to import. Why won't you import? There you go. Let's see. Actually, I might not even need this. So if I go here, let's call it DFSM equals new array list. Why don't you like the name? Legal modify. Oh, because it doesn't like private. Why are these yellow? Oh, because there are warnings throughout this whole thing. Okay, so need string input. String. Let's just say while true for now. So I'm just going to create this finite state machine in code for now because I'm not going to make it read in the file yet. So state 0 oh wait, they won't need their ID because they will just be using the index from the thing. I'll just give them IDs for now anyway. So just ID, whether it's accepting, so false, and the transitions. Yeah, this is going to be more work than I thought. New hash table integer state this is going to have to be integer. So let me go to state integer. Okay. State 0 transitions. New hash table. Integer. State 1, state 2, state 3, state 4. How do I add something? Put. Okay, so 0 transitions from... Why did I put integer? Character. Okay, and this is character as well. Okay, so it will transition at A to 0. And at B to 0. And at C to 1. Each of these will have 3. So 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. Okay. So state 1, add A goes to 1, add B goes to 2, and add C goes to 3. State 2 at an A goes to 2, add a B goes to 2, and add a C goes to 4. State 3 goes to 3 all the way. And state 4, let me change these, goes to 4 for all of them as well. Come on, mouse, work properly. And you don't like it because you want... There we go. Okay, so 2 is accepting, 4 is accepting, and this should say 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we will also want state current state equals okay, so current state equals start equals start state. And while true, we will do int current index. So it'd be while current index is less than input string dot length. So while we're not at the end of the string, keep cycling through. Okay, so the loop goes through, we get to the end of the string. Now we need to check if it's accepting. So current state dot get accepting. Why don't you like that? It's a boolean, and this returns a void. Okay. So current character equals input string of current index. Can I do that? Is that valid in Java? No, it is not. This is why I don't like Java. It's so much more picky. I need char at current index. And I will need current state equals DFSM dot get current state dot get transitions get transition current character. Okay, so I will need to now create public integer get transition char. Okay, and so it will turn get. This doesn't throw an error if it's otherwise it returns null. Okay, that's good. Just wanted to make sure it wouldn't return an error. Okay. Why don't you like that? Is undefined. Public integer get transition. What do you mean it's undefined? It's undefined for change to get transition. That's where my error is. Okay. Okay, so return current state null equal null and okay. So if I go through this, if I run it, if I input a proper thing, wait, we do need input string, we don't need the file right now. If I input a valid string, it should accept it. If I don't, it should not accept it. What am I printing? I'm just printing true or false. What don't you like? Cannot make a static group. There. It's now static. So, run. Okay, string to evaluate. So with this DFSM, it should, any number of A's, so I'll just, or B, so I'll just put ABA, and then a C, so ABAC, and then any number of A's, let's just do 2 A's, and then a B, and then I could stop there, or I could do 2 more B's, a C, and then ABC. It doesn't seem to be doing, I know it's doing things, but it doesn't seem to be doing anything. So what's that? Current state is 0. Current index is 0. Okay. Let me fix this. Current index needs to increment. So if I run this again, string to evaluate. So let's just do ABC. And then ABC. ABC should work. True. Okay. So let's do AAAA. So a bunch of A's would just stick us with 0. So let's do AA, BC, AABC, AAB. Okay, so my finite state machine works. I just need to make it accept an input. But I think I will stop that for now and end this. So hope you guys enjoyed. All relevant links are down below, whether you're watching Twitch or YouTube. YouTube, it's in the description. Twitch, it's in the panels. If you're looking for a Discord bot for your servers, I have a Discord bot called Titan. You can find a link to Titan on practically any of my pages, or go to my website, wix100.github.io. Everything I do is linked from there, so go check that out. If you're watching this from YouTube, hit the like button if you like this, and subscribe for more. Twitch, you can also subscribe, but there's a paywall for that, so follow instead if you